Hi, if you're looking to create a job description that's going to attract A players, then this video is going to help you write a compelling job description that will engage A players for your sales role. Before we start, it's probably a good idea to look at what A players are looking for in a sales role. Earning potential, yeah? Wrong. Earning potential is part of their decision-making process, but it's not the only thing they're looking at. And as soon as you realize this, then you can start to tailor your candidate briefings or your candidate pack to make it more unique to the type of person that you're going to be looking for. So what else are A players looking for? Well, most of the research that we've looked at suggests that people are also looking at things like the leadership team, who the line manager is, what's their background and experience. That old saying of people don't leave a job, they leave a manager. You'd be amazed how many people are very critical of the managers that are hiring and who they are and what their LinkedIn profile says. So this is a key element for people. Also, they're looking at the context of the product or service. Why would a customer buy your product or service? What is it that's unique about it that means that people are going to buy it, and therefore as a salesperson I can sell and make more money? Other A players that are in the team, it's very important to a lot of good salespeople that they're joining an organization where there's a bit of friendly competition, that other people in there are good and they're going to learn and find out from others. The other thing that A players are generally asking about are things like training programs and development programs. Is there an opportunity for them to increase their skills and get accreditation for further sales and soft skills training? Another key element for a lot of A players is the onboarding processes that companies run, and we're always being asked about the onboarding and how quickly people will get up to speed. Development, both personally and professionally, these are also quite key skills that people are looking at, and what does the company give back. And then obviously benefits, but being detailed about the benefits. What are the opportunities for things like home working? What holidays do they have? Is it a flexible benefits package? Do they have health care? Is there a pension scheme? What's the percentage, etc., etc.? So once you've started to understand what the A players are actually considering, you may find it a lot easier to start tailoring your job description to attract the A players. So now that we've looked at what A players are looking for outside of money, let's talk about the key headings that you want to cover to increase interest. So having a title, our internal processes that we use, the company name, the role title, and then we call it a position brief. You don't need to call it that. You could call it anything you want: candidate brief, candidate pack. And there are some headings that we will cover initially that draw the candidate into interest of the role. So normally a heading that we normally start off with is the company, and what this is an overview of the organization. So generally we're looking at what problems does the company solve and what are they known for, what sort of flagship products do they have, what might people understand or know about. We also want to put in what the values and the culture are within the organization. And also you want to be including some relevant top-line company information like the number of years established, perhaps number of employees, the turnover, office locations if you're national, international, and also add in any links to recent articles or news stories, perhaps any marketing campaigns, white papers, any videos that you might have that might support the overview. Popping those in, anything that's interactive is also a big plus for any A players. We also want to cover off the line manager and the sales team. So it's good to have an overview of the line manager that's doing the hiring in a sort of a bio style format. You can use LinkedIn. Generally, most line managers have already put on there a little bit about themselves, and making a compelling summary of the manager that would make someone want to join and work for them. You might want to check with the line manager, see what they've got written about themselves. Nothing worse than candidates looking at a bio or a LinkedIn profile and it's a little bit flat. Also, if the role is going to be working as part of a team, you might want to put in here a little bit about how the team is structured and how does the team fit into the overall business, as well as what other departments and divisions does that role engage with. And finally, in terms of introductions, you probably want to talk about the interview process and onboarding. So what is the process and structure that you follow? What decision makers are involved, and what tasks and tests might be involved in the process for this A player to get a chance to join the team? And also think about what happens when new starters arrive. What is the onboarding process that you run? Once again, A players want to see how new starters are brought up to speed. A players also place a big emphasis on structure. So it's important that you provide this so that they see that there is a well-structured and well-run process. The other key thing to cover off in the introduction is why the role is available. A players are always interested in the context of why the role is available. So be sure to explain how this role fits into a much bigger company-wide strategy and how their role and activity will actually support and help to achieve the outcomes that the businesses are looking to achieve in the short, medium and long term. You'd be surprised how important this is to an A player, that their contribution is part of a much bigger picture. Now that you've covered off the introductions to the business, it's now important that the next load of key headings will be to do with the reasons to move. So firstly, why would an A player want this role? And I find if you can put something in about what is going to attract an A player to this role, perhaps it could be to do with the career moves that they can take, the training and development. Perhaps it's to do with the context of an impending event that's coming up, that there's an opportunity to build sales very quickly. What earning potential is available? Is it uncapped? Is there accelerators? Why is it a great place to work? Is it a social environment? Is there activities and things going on? And also you might want to think about what technology or state-of-the-art systems or processes that this A player will be exposed to, that they'll be using in this role. This is obviously a key consideration for them. You'll want to put the role profile in. With the role profile, try not to get lazy and just cut and paste what you already have. Be sure to have headings in that role profile that reflect the primary outcomes of the role and the key skills and experiences you're looking for, as well as the personality traits that the role requires for success. I always like to think about outcomes that those bullet points are after rather than the description. We also want to make sure that the candidate is able to find out information about remuneration, the bonus scheme, the targets and the benefits. So, make sure that you've got some information in there about how the bonus scheme works and what the earning potential could be. Perhaps you can put in there some information about what other top achievers have had, and obviously make sure that you list and detail the company benefits. You may also want to talk in here about ongoing training and career development type opportunities as well. So once again, these are key things. And also with the contact and the application details and location, it's always important to make sure that you've got your company contact details and any email addresses that you want people to correspond to you on, or an email address for where they can send a CV to, as well as any information about the office location. You might also want to add in there a map or locations around the tube or train stations, or if there's parking on site, etc. These are, once again, important considerations for A players to consider when viewing your role. So now that you've created most of the content for your document, it's good to finish off the document now. And so a couple of things to be conscious of. Firstly, top left-hand corner, putting your company logo in the header. Obviously, make it a reasonable size so that people can see the logo. At the bottom in the footer, I always suggest to put your company careers page URL if you have one, or your company website if you don't have a specific careers page. And then finally, save it as a PDF. You might want to put the date so that you can go back to it at a later stage, and so you've got historical information. I hope this video has been helpful and that you've now got some insight into how to create a job description that will attract A players to your live roles. If you would like a copy of our template that you can use internally, feel free to get in contact with me on the details you can see on the screen. I'm more than happy if you want to send me back what you've written. I can give you some tips and some pointers on perhaps how an A player might view it. In the meantime, I wish you every success and happy recruiting.